VR is in a bit of a mix right now. The two best headsets both have their ups and downs, with the Index being the best overall experience, but the Quest 2 being the best to just put on and play. It's no wonder why the Quest 2 is selling so well in the VR market. It really comes down to ease of use, and while you've most definitely heard the pros and cons of the Quest 2 and the Valve Index, I don't care, because it's my video and you can skip ahead if you like. The Valve Index is a really nice headset. I don't personally own one, but I have a friend that does. From my experience playing on the Index, it's quite literally the best VR headset money can buy. But having the nicest headset is nowhere cheap. Starting price for an Index alone with no controllers and no base stations for tracking is $500. Plus the requirement of a beefy PC, which can vary in price, also puts the Index at a nice cost of entry barrier. And this isn't even for the controllers and base stations. If you just buy the headset, you're quite literally buying a paperweight, because you wouldn't be able to use your headset without them. To buy a Valve Index and all its accessories and a PC to run the games, you're looking at about $2,000. That's with graphics cards being somewhat easy and affordable to find. The Oculus Quest 2 is the VR headset for normies, for casuals, for your grandparents to try and play Beat Saber just to fail on the first attempt.
Oh god damn!
But with it being the only headset currently to be completely wireless and having no requirement of a PC, it's no wonder why I called it the VR normie headset. Now, I'm not saying that having a Quest 2 is a bad thing. I even use one for my setup. With that, the Quest 2 has the most user base and can play Oculus exclusives. However, with the requirement of Zuckbook to register your headset, don't try and use the Quest 2 for PC VR.
Hey everyone, we are live from my backyard where I am smoking a brisket and some ribs. I'm making meats now, smoking these meats here.
I know you can get the link cable from Facebook, but at $80 just for a cable, you're better off finding a different solution. Also, quick tip, if you just got a Quest 2 and plan on using it for PC VR later down the road, do not buy your games from the Oculus store. If you already have a PC, buy all the games from Steam. The only app that I would buy on your headset is Virtual Desktop and stream the games from your PC to your headset. I've only noticed some hiccups from this method, and any game you get will look so much better than buying it directly from the Oculus store. Using a link cable the first time was amazing. I thought, finally, I can play all my VR games and have no problems. At least, so I thought. For some reason, whenever I used the link cable, if I turned my head fast enough, I would get these black edges around the game and have it return back to normal. The only way I found a workaround was to dive into some Oculus files and have the Oculus app give more information into the headset. Mind you that there's no instruction on how to do this from Oculus themselves. You're stranded Googling your solutions for this to work. Because the link cable is $80 and I'm not one for paying hefty prices for a fancy USB-C cable, I went the other route. I went through every store, every Best Buy, and tried using Amazon, but I'm too impatient to wait for non-prime shipping. Eventually I found a cable to work, which is why I'm making this video. While the resolution and refresh rate might be lesser than both the Index and Quest 2, I could still see why someone would want the Rift S. With no wireless option, you can only use this headset with a PC ready for VR, but without the use of external sensors for tracking, instead using the similar inside-out tracking the Quest 2 uses, it's easier to set up than the Index. Now, I personally really like the Index controllers. Although I do like having a button on the side instead of the sensor grip, the feeling is just much nicer, and being able to let go of the controller without them falling is a really nice feeling. The Rift S and Quest 2 are both made from Facebook, so using the headset still requires a Facebook account. However, if you understand why Facebook tracks you, and if you don't really care like I do, then having a connection directly to your PC and not fidgeting around with the link cables and debug menus, then the Rift S sits perfectly in the middle for me. And I'm sorry for not uploading like that at all. I didn't realize how long it had actually been. But if you want to keep up with what I'm doing, I'd suggest just following me on TikTok or Twitter. I know it's TikTok. It's with me here. It's where I keep